Hello students, for today we're gonna learn about function. First, we will learn what is the definition of the function itself. A function is a special transformation that maps each number of a set to only one number in another set. Let's say it will map some value of x, and for each value of x, it will be only one numbers of y, or we can say that it only have one result of value of y. This is an example of functions, the visualization of functions. In the left circles, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, it's not circles, it's ellipse. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is called the this is what we call the input. And then for the right circles, we have 4, 5, 6, and 7. Usually we call this range or an output, yeah. And then the rule says 1 will become 4, 2 will become 5, 3 will become 6, and 4 will become 7. So as you can see, each value of x will have one value of y. And then the function of f for the diagram above is add by 3. So the function means the rules, yeah. So the rules for the previous visualization is add by 3. As you can see, 1 add by 3 will become 4, 2 added by 3 will become 5, and so on. And then we go to the notation of function. So the notation of function for the previous example questions will be x plus 3, since the rules is added by 3. That means the rules will be x plus 3, and then the notation itself, it can be f and then titik 2x, or the common writings is this one, f and then in the brackets x, yeah, and then equals to the rules. So you can read this one as the function of f is x plus 3, just like that, yeah. But in mathematics, you have to read it like this: f of x equals to x plus 3. But usually I didn't read it like that also. I just write it as fx equals to x plus 3. Yeah, it will be simpler. And then for this one, the 1 and the 4, you can write it as f in the brackets 1 equals to 4. That means the function of f will map the value of 1, or we can say that one as an input to the number of 4, or you can say it as an output or the result, yeah. And then for the 2 and 5, you can write it like this: f2 equals to 5. That means it will map 2 or the input to the number of 5 or the output. That also means the 1 in the brackets will replace the x later, and then the 1 after the equal is the result, yeah. And then the value of input and output are called domain and range respectively. Okay, so in mathematics we don't say input and output, but instead domain and range. Okay guys, let's try example questions 1. So first, the questions give you the function. The question says the rules is you have to square the x and then plus the 5 times x. And the questions A wants you to calculate the f6. Remember what I told you before, the 1 in the brackets is the input, and the input is the x. That means to calculate this, you only have to replace the x with 6, just like this: 6 square and then plus 5 times 6. So you'll have 36 plus 30, and the final result is 66. So f6, you can conclude that f6 equals to 66. There you go. And then how about b? For the b, the rules stay the same because it's still fx. So we have x squared plus 5x, and then the question wants you to find for the b negative 4. So the x is negative 4 square plus 5 times negative 4. You will have 16 and then minus 20. Altogether it will become negative 4. So this is how you calculate the value of a function. But sometimes in math you have to work in reverse. That means the question is reverse. So in the previous question you have to find the value or the result. That means in these questions the result is already given. So first the question tells you that the rules is 3x plus 4, and then the questions told you also that the fx or the result is equal to 25. That means we can conclude that the 3x plus 4 have to be equal to 25. 3x plus 4 have to be equal to 25. That means 3x equals to 25 minus 4 equals to 21. So x equals to 21 divided by 3, x equals to 7. So the question wants you to find the value of x. That means x equals to 7. As simple as that. Okay, next question 3. It will be a little bit complicated because it involves higher algebra skills. Yeah. So in these questions, the fx is already given, which is x squared minus 7x, and then the gx already given, x squared minus x. I'm taking my words. This one is still easy because the x squared later will cancel each other. So and then the question also says fx equals to gx. Just write it like this, fx equals to gx, and because we already know that fx equals to x squared plus 7x, that means you can replace this one with x squared plus 7x, and then equal to the gx will be x squared minus x plus 4. And then after this you have to use your algebra skills to solve this equation. So first you move the x squared, that means x squared minus x squared, it will become 0, and then you move the negative x, it will become 7x plus x, and the result is 8x. And because the x squared is already cancelled out, there is no more x squared. That means just leave the 4 at the right hand side. X equals to 4 divided by 8, so the value of x will be 1/2. This is our final results. And then next we will learn how to graph a function. To sketch a function, or maybe to draw accurately a function, you have to follow these steps. First, you have to determine the x-intercept of the graph, which is the y equals to 0. The rules is when you want to find the x-intercept, the y have to be equals to 0, and then after that you can find the value of y, the value of x, and then the second step is determine the y-intercept. The rule says when you want to find the y-intercept, the x have to be 0, and then you will have the value of y later. And then the third, to make the sketch or the drawings easier, you can create a table of values to find additional points on the graph, and then you plot all of the points that you already have and then join them with a smooth curve, or maybe if it is a straight line you will join them with a straight line. To help you draw the functions properly, maybe you want to memorize the shapes of the curve for some of the function. So first I will show it to you, the shapes of the fx equals to a numbers, only a numbers without x. Yeah, so it will be horizontal line, depends on the numbers. For this one, the function will be fx equals to 1 because it attached to y equals to 1, so fx equals to 1. And then for this one, ax plus b, we have x to the power of 1. That means the shapes of the graph will be a straight line. The straight line can be like this or like that, depend on the value of a and also the b. Yeah, and then for the next one, it's parabola. This one is called parabola. It can be opens up like that or opens down, depends on the value of a. And then for the vertex point or the turning point, it will be depend on the function itself. Yeah, so we will draw this one later. And then the next one is x to the power of 3. For the x to the power of 3, the original graph will be like that, but if we have another one like plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 1, the shapes of the curve will be like this later. So this is the original for the x to the power of 3, yeah. And then for 1 over x, the x is at the bottom. That means the curve will be split into two parts. The first one is this one, and the second one is that one. In 1 over x, there is a not a graph, straight line that is called asymptotes. The asymptotes of the 1 over x will be right here. Asymptotes means a line that is never touched by the graph itself, but the graph will be very close with the asymptotes. Yeah, so as you can see, when we continue the curve, it will be very close with the asymptotes, just like that. Okay, and then 1 over x squared will be like this. It only two asymptotes, the same with the 1 over x, but the curve will be like this. Yeah, different with the 1 over x, a little bit different. Okay, we'll go to the example questions. I will show you how to use the step by step to sketch a function. Okay, so what is the first step? The first step is to find the x-intercept. So we will follow the steps first. You have to find the x-intercept by I will write it like this first. X-intercept, that means y equals to 0, and that also means you have to replace the y with 0. What is the y? Y is the fx, guys, because we already know that y is the result or the output. That means that is the fx. If y equals to 0, that means the fx also equals to 0. So 0 equals to 3x plus 2. So move the 2 to the left hand side, you will have negative 2. And then you will move the 3 to the left hand side, you will have negative 2 over 3. Or in decimals, this one will be 0.67. Why I calculate the result as decimals? Because we will plot it later in the Cartesian, and it will be more easier if you use decimals. The second step says you have to find the y-intercept. For the y-intercept, the x equals to 0. That means fx equals to 3x plus 2. You can change the fx into y because it's the same. So you have 3 times 0. Just input the x equals to 0 to the function. You'll have 2. So from the first calculation, we have negative 0.67, 0 as the result, and for the second one we have 0,2 as the result. Okay, so as you can see, we have x to the power of 1 for the highest degree. That means our curve or our graph later will be a straight line. For a straight line, we don't need any other any other points. We only need 2 points like this, and then you can just draw the straight line. So this one is y, this one is x. Let's say 1 is right here, 2, 3, and then negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. And then this one is 1, that one is 2, this one is negative 1, this one is negative 2. Okay, so our first point will be negative 0.67, 0. That will be right here, around right there, and then 0,2 will be right there, and then you will connect the dots using a straight line like this. Okay, our graph is not so good because the question wants you to draw it from negative 3 until 3. The space is not enough. Actually, you have to continue this one until the x equals to 3 up above. Yeah, and also also the negative 3. The question wants you to draw it from negative 3 until 3, so this one is not enough. You have to draw another line going to the negative 3, and then after it reaches negative 3 you will stop. Yeah, so this is how you draw the first graph, the straight line. It's pretty easy to draw a straight line. Next, I will show you how to draw a quadratic. Still the same. The first step will be the x-intercept. For the x-intercept, you have to make the y equals to 0. So the rule says x squared minus 2x minus 8. You can change the fx into y directly, and then you will wait, let me write down the formula first. For the x-intercept, the y have to be equals to 0. That means this y will become 0 later. So x squared minus 2x minus 8. And because this is the quadratics, that means to find the value of x, you have to factorize. I will factorize it for you like this, yeah, and then x equals to 4, x equals to negative 2. If you cannot factorize the quadratics, you can ask me later in the class. I will teach you privately. And then from this result, we already have 4, 0 as the first x-intercept and negative 2, 0 as the second intercept. Questions 2, we have to find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, you only have to input x equals to 0. That means y equals to x squared minus 2x minus 8. That means y equals to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 8. So y equals to negative 8. That means we already have the second point, 0, negative 8. Okay, this is a quadratics. Actually, for the quadratics, 3 points is enough to sketch the graph. Yeah, so let's just sketch the graph like this. This is the y and this is the x, and then 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is right there, and then negative 2 is right here. Negative 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 8 far below. And then in the previous explanation, I already show the shapes of the x square, right? The x square will be like this or like that. Yeah, opens up or opens down. Just follow the pattern. Yeah, so for this one, it might be opens up since we have to connect the dots right there. If we connect it like this, it cannot, yeah, because it will not touch the negative 8. So we have to connect it like this. It doesn't mean that we have to going back at negative 8. Just draw the parabola perfectly like this. Oh no, my bad. Just like that, yeah. So it has to be symmetrical. If you draw it like this, it will not symmetrical. Yeah, it will be in the bad shapes. So it is better like this. Okay, this is our second example questions to draw a graph. Oh, my bad, we are not finished yet. We have to draw it starting from negative 3. So negative 3 is right here. Yeah, around that. Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. It's not straight. Okay, so we will start from here until 5. Maybe 5 is right here. That means we have to draw it like that. Nah, there you go. This is our sketch for the second one. And then the next one is this function 3 over x. Okay, so for this one, let's try to find the x-intercept. X-intercept, yeah. X-intercept means y equals to 0, and that also means y equals to 3 over x. The y will be replaced by 0. 0 equals to 3 over x, and then you will multiply the x to the left hand side, cross multiplication, right? The algebra said so. So 0 equals to 3, that means the x is already gone, we cannot find the value of x. That means there are no x-intercept, yeah, no x-intercept. And then for the second one, we have y-intercept. Y-intercept means x equals to 0, and that also means y equals to 3 over x, y equals to 3 over, replace the x by 0. In mathematics, anything divided by 0 will be undefined, so this one also no y-intercept. Why this function doesn't have x and y intercept? Because it's just like 1 over x, the one that I already showed to you before. The graph is split into two parts, divided into two parts. One of them is right here and the other one is right there, but as you can see, the curve doesn't touch the x-axis and it doesn't touch the y-axis. That means there is no x-intercept and y-intercept, yeah. So keep in mind that usually for 1 over x, the x below the fractions, it will be no x-intercept and y-intercept, yeah. But instead we have the asymptotes, okay. And then the curve will be like this, but because we have to draw it from -3 until 3 and we don't have any coordinates right here, maybe we can calculate some of them. Let's say -3. If we have x equals to -3, that means the or maybe for this one we can draw it more accurate, yeah, by create a table. I will show you how to draw a graph by creating a table. So x and y, just create it like this, x and y, and then the x will be various from -3 until 3. That means -3, -2, -1, and then 0, and then 1, and then 2, and then the last one is 3. Okay, let's calculate when x equals to 3. When x equals to 3, the y will be -3 over 3 over -3, yeah, since the function is 3 over x. That means you only have to replace the x by -3. So this one will be -1, and then if the x is -2, it will be -1.5. For x -1, it will be -3. For x 0, of course we cannot because it's undefined, so let's remove 0. Then if the x equals to 1, the y will be 3, 2, 1.5, 3, of course 1. Okay, so we already have our table. We only have to plot the points. Let's say -3 is right here, -2, -1, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3. And then we have -3 also for the result, -1, -2, -3. For this one it's only oh no, same, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's plot the first point, -3, -1 is right there, and then for this one, -2, -1.5 is right there, and then -1, 3 is right there. Okay, so our first parts will be like this, yeah, just connect the points, and then the next one will be similar like that. Okay, so this is how you draw a graph, yeah, by find the x-intercept, y-intercept, and also create the table. This is the easiest method. Okay, next is example question 4. I will give you a little bit more example question in this section because the shapes is different for each other, yeah. So for this one we have to find the x-intercept, my bad. the x-intercept first. X-intercept means y equals to 0. That means 0 equals to x to the power of 3 minus x to the power of 2 minus 4x plus 4. And then later you will factorize this. But unfortunately you haven't learned this because it's you already learned this, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, in the 9th grade polynomials. Oh, I don't know, just pretend that you haven't learned this, so we can skip this part. Yeah, doesn't do not worry, because when we skip one part of this, you can still sketch the curve. Okay, next is y-intercept. For y-intercept, I think you can calculate this. So x equals to 0, so y equals to 0 to the power of 3 minus 0 square, and then minus 4 times 0, and then plus 4. That means y equals to 4. From this calculation we got 0, negative 4 as the result. And then because this is x to the power of 3, that means we will need another points to help us draw later. So let's start from negative 3, and then negative 2, and then negative 1. We already have 0, which is 4, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3. Okay, let me calculate it first. Okay, I already calculate all of them, and I have this result. Yeah, so later we will plot the point, and then we'll connect them using smooth curve. So this one is y, this one is x. We have negative 3 until 3, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then for the y, we'll have negative 20. Let's say this one is negative 20, and that means this one is 10. Okay, so 3, negative 20 will be right here, and then negative 2, 0. Oh, because this one is at the x-intercept, that means this one is one of the x-intercept. So when you calculate this later, maybe you will get negative 2, 0. Not maybe, yeah, will get negative 2, 0. And then negative 1 and 6 maybe around there, and then 0, 4, and then 1, 0, 2, 0, and then 3, 10. Okay, so we only have to connect them like this. So yeah, just keep in your mind that it has to be symmetrical. Yeah, it has to be very good like this. Nah, this is our graph. Okay, next is the domain and range of the function. So recall that the values of the input and output are called the domain and range respectively. So usually the question wants you to find the range. That means you have to know how to calculate the range. The domain of a function is a set of all possible input values, often represented in the variable of x, for which the function is defined and produce a valid output. That means domain is values of x, some value of x. And then the range of a function refers to the set of all possible output values, often represented in the variable of y. So the range is the possible values of y. To determine the domain of a function, we simply look at the range of the x values on the graph we have drawn. However, the domain is often stated in the questions. I will show this to you later in the example questions. To determine the range, we simply look at the range of y values, of course, in our graph, and then we only have to write down the range of the values of y, and it will become our range of the function. And then we go straight to the example questions. Determine the domain and range for all functions shown in the previous examples. Okay, let me copy the graph first. Okay, let's start from the first function. For the first function, we have fx equals to 3x plus 2. And the question says the x will be varies from negative 3 until 3. That means this is the range of value of x. And we already know that the range value of x will be the domain. So we can say that the domain is negative 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. As I told you before, the domain usually given in the questions. Yeah, so the domain for the range is this one. And then to find the values of y or the range, we have to know the shapes of the curve and also the points, the minimum points or the lowest point and also the highest point on that curve. Yeah, so unfortunately the highest point should be right here when x equals to 3. As you can see, the graph will be increasing until it reach 3, right? But we don't have the value of y. That means we have to calculate it first. So when x equals to 3, the value of y will be 3x plus 2, right? Y equals to 3 times 3 plus 2, so the y will be 11. That means when the x equals to 3, the y will be 11. And when x equals to negative 3, we also have to find the value of y. That means we can write it like this. When x equals to negative 3, the y will be 3 times negative 3 plus 2. That means we'll have negative 7 as the result. That means our graph, our straight line, for the value of y, it will be varies from negative 7 from the lowest until the highest is 11. That means we can say that the range is negative 7 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 11, just like that. This is how you determine the range of a function. Yeah. Some of students have difficulties in finding the range, especially in the exam later. So I want you to understand this more than the calculation before. Yeah, because this one is a little bit hard, because you have to do a lot of things to find the range. Yeah, let's say you imagine the shapes and then you calculate the extreme points, the lowest point, the highest point, or maybe the behavior of the y increasing, decreasing, and so on. Yeah, so let's do example question 2. The second one is just like this. We already drawn the curve before, yeah, but unfortunately we don't have these values and also these values. Yeah, okay, so I don't know whether you already learned this in the 9th grade, but I think you already learned this, and this one is called the turning point of the quadratics. Turning point of the quadratics, you can find this by using the formula negative b over 2a comma b square minus 4ac over negative 4a, or you can use the completing squares also. Yeah, but in this questions I will tell you the values instead. So this is 1, and the values of y is negative 9. So this one is negative 9. The lowest point in this question is negative 9. And then because the x is limited from negative 3 until 5, that means we have the highest point. For the highest point, we have to calculate it first. So when x equals to negative 3, the y will be negative 3 square, negative 2 times negative 3. Simply put the the negative 3 into the x. Yeah, so this one is 9, and then plus 6, and then minus 8. So you'll have 15 minus 8 equals to 7. So this one is 7. And then how about this? The x equals to 5. according to the graph, I think the values will be the same. Yeah, just make sure whether it is 7 or not. Just calculate it like this. So you have 25 minus 10 minus 8. We have yeah, 7, the same. That means the lowest point or the lowest value of y will be negative 9, and then it will be various from negative 9 until 7. That means the range is negative 5, negative 9 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 7, and the domain itself is already given in the questions. It's negative 3 until 5. There you go. This is the second example questions. The third one will be this one, 3 over x. We already draw this before, but I do a mistakes at this questions. I have to stop right here, guys, until 3. You cannot draw this one because the question says we have to stop at 3 and we have to stop at negative 3, so you have to erase this one. Yeah, okay, good. So let's take a look at the domain. The domain is the range of value of x, which is this one, negative 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. And then for the range, you will see the values of y. The values of y for this part, it start from negative 1, and then it will be various from negative 1 until very small numbers. Yeah, let's say it can be until negative 100, negative 1000, negative 1 million, because it will be going down infinitely. Yeah, that means the range will be y less than or equal to negative 1. Yeah, it will be decreasing infinitely. And then for the other parts, it start from 1. It start from y equals to 1. Yeah, start from here. It will be going up infinitely. That means the y will be greater than or equal to 1. And then you can say it's or. Yeah, so y less than or equal to negative 1 or y greater than or equal to 1. There you go. And then for the last questions, we can see the range directly because we already have all of the values. The lowest is negative 20 and the highest is 10. That means the range will be various from negative 20 until 10. That means negative 20 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 10. For the domain itself, it will be negative 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. So this is how you determine the domain and range of a function. And that's it for today. I think it's still pretty easy in this section. I hope that you can understand it well. If you cannot, just ask me. Thank you guys. Bye bye.